Hey guys, this is Capcom8, and today I have a mod review for you guys, which is the ICBM mod, which stands for the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile mod. Now, before I get into all the explosives and stuff, I'm going to go over some of the items it adds. It adds these, which is a glass button. It's an invisible button you can use for a redstone pulse. And glass pressure plates, which is the same thing, but invisible. It also adds sulfur ore, poison powder, and sulfur. Now, one of the cool things about this is the camouflage. This is by far what I think is one of the coolest parts of this mod. So what you can do is you can craft this with glass, wool, and a basic circuit, and you can place it anywhere on the wall. Then you right-click it with any block that you want it to become, and it will instantly become that block. Then, if you want to be able to see through it, you take a wrench and right-click on it, and it will make this one-way glass, so you can only see through on the one side that you click on the wrench with. And to me, this is by far one of the coolest parts of this mod. So you can have a secret base and no one can really see it. Next, we have the explosives, which is basically a lot like more TNT in the game. So let's go out here and we'll test a few of these. So first we have the sonic explosives. And what these will do is they will kind of just rip up the earth below it and send a bunch of blocks flying everywhere. It'll lay blocks down in a bunch of random places, as you can see. And the range is pretty far where they fall. So it'll just scatter a bunch of random blocks around everywhere, including the torch that you place down, and it'll place it. So that's kind of neat if you want to just scatter explosives everywhere. And the next is the nuclear explosives, and I think you can guess what these do. It has a really cool alarm sound as soon as it goes off. And then poor skeleton. And yeah, it's a pretty big explosion. It'll take a while for my chunks to load, actually. Let's see. As you can see, that completely demolished the land. I'm glad I did that far away from it. And next is the endothermic endothermic explosives. So, I'm glad it's night, so I can test this on some mobs. And you will find this pretty cool, the endothermic. It creates this giant beam that just comes out of the sky, and it just rips up the ground and pulls you in. And pulls me in, and pulls me in, and pulls me in, and I got away in time. But it just makes this giant thing. And if you get caught in this, you will be teleported to the end. So this is pretty deadly if you will launch this on one of your friend's bases. So let's go ahead and set it to day, since we no longer need the mobs to demonstrate. So those are just a couple of the explosives. Of course, there are a lot more included in this mod. So if you get this mod, you can check them all out for yourself. And what do I have? Frostbite. That's what the endothermic explosives give you. Frostbite. Which will wear off in 3, 2, 1. Alright, I'm good. Next we have grenades. Alright, so there are lots of types of grenades in this mod. You can just right-click to throw, and they'll land. Sparks will fly out. And that is the incandescent grenade. So that sets everything on fire. I don't think there's actually any physical explosion, but it just sets everything on fire. Here's the conventional grenade, which I threw in there, which does create a small explosion. And here's the shrapnel grenade, which just smokes and then shoots arrows everywhere when it explodes. So that's pretty cool. That's the explosives chest. Next, we'll move on to this chest is empty. Huh. Alright, and last but not least, this is probably the main thing in this mod. We have the missile launchers, which works hand in hand with the electrical expansion mod, which adds these, which are energy cubes, and the wires, which is what powers these launchers. So right here, we have the missiles that will launch in these. So the green launcher will launch green, red will launch green and red, and blue will launch any missile that comes with the mod. I will be only showing you 3 missiles, but there are, I think, 20 or so to check out in this entire mod. So let's go ahead. You can right-click, set the coordinates, and then you click on the silo, and that will load the missile in. Then all you need is a redstone pulse, send the missile off, and it'll fly up. And this is a nuclear missile, by the way. So that will create a TNT-like explosion when it hits the impact. The next is the sonic missile, which, as you could guess, is a lot like the sonic explosives. This one will let you lock the height that your missile flies at, so you can have it go higher up in the sky or lower. So while this one's flying, I'll take the liberty of showing you this. I'll set the height to 70, so it spends a little bit more time in the air, and I launch. So right here we have a radar station, which is as well powered by it. And this you can use to track missiles that are flying through the air. So as you can see, it was tracking that missile, and that missile has just landed and has torn up the land over here. Now, last but not least, we have the Tier 3 missile launcher. This one will fire any missile, and I will be showing you 2 missiles with this one, as well as using the laser designator. And we'll grab this in case I need it. So the laser designator, what you can do is you right-click on it, and it will sync your laser designator, which you can use to target stuff, with this launch tower. So you can load in an antimatter missile, which is by far one of the most powerful ones. Then I'll set it at 60. Use the laser designator. Just say, let's get far enough away. Just say right there. Right, let's see. Is it gonna work? It's not working at the moment. So I will just hand put some coordinates in. Let's do -450. Of course, you want to actually plan these out, but I just want to show you guys the explosion. So let's do -450 and 400 or 500. So after that, just hit the lever to launch, and it's gonna go off, up into the air, and come right down. Then we'll make a really cool sound effect, and boom. Of course, this is an extremely wide explosion. This would take out any enemy base within 50, 60 blocks of the explosion. And my chunks haven't even loaded yet. As you can see, now they're starting to load. But this is an extremely deep explosion. I would say it's probably 50 blocks deep, and 50, 30 blocks deep, and probably 70 blocks across. So it is huge. And last but not least, if I can find my way back. Ah, yes, it's this way. I will show you the red matter missile. Now, this is the best missile of all. I would not recommend this until you have had your fun with the world or you know how to stop it. So this is negative 468 and 428. Negative 468. Okay, so you're going to set the coordinates again. Oh, lag spike. Set the coordinates for negative 468 and 430. So we'll set those coordinates and load in a red matter missile. Now with this is extremely dangerous, and I'll show you why as soon as it hits. So when this hits, have an antimatter missile or explosives ready, because this will form. It will be a giant wormhole. Of course, it missed the base because these missiles have an inaccuracy of about 30 blocks. So as you can see, it was about 10-20 blocks off, and it will create this explosive wormhole in the world that will just consume the entire world, unless you can place down an antimatter explosive and a redstone torch, and it will go in and it will make the explosion, but it will push away the wormhole and your world will be saved, but you'll be left with just nothingness in a hole. So if this does happen to you, with this mod you're not completely out of luck. You can get a rocket launcher and a missile called a rejuvenation missile. You just load these in right next to each other in your hotbar and you fire away. As soon as it hits a chunk, well, a loaded chunk that is, these chunks aren't loaded, so it's not working very well. Well, these rejuvenation missiles, what they'll do is, when it hits a destroyed chunk, it will restore it to the world default in the seed, but I do not believe that it is working because this is a super flat world, and as you can see, this is the path that the red matter wormhole took when it got pushed away from the explosion site with the antimatter bomb, and it just goes on and on and on. So it will rip a path in the world. But your world would be saved. It would eventually reach the end of the world and just fly off. So here's the ICBM mod for you guys. If you guys want to check it out, the link to download Volts, which has this and many other mods installed on it, that will be in the description. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. See you guys later.